Hey, it's Raven Tactical here. We're gonna do the conflicted series, and this will be the one for the week. I'm gonna try to stick to doing usually at least one a week to kind of give people kind of a just to kind of have an idea of people just doing some critical thinking. I think that's really one of the most critical, using the word twice, but that's one of the most things I think people lack. I think in general we have a tendency to um, not have the critical thinking skill. Like, we don't take a situation and take the time to actually break it down and kind of think about different scenarios or how things affect others, right? So these cards, if you haven't seen them before, they have 10 decks right now. The Conflicted series, you can buy them on Amazon. I put the link in previous ones before. They're about 10-15 bucks. They look like a deck of cards too, so you can use them as cards, but they all have little questions on them or scenarios. And it's basically designed that you can ask your group or people in your group to sit down and ask questions. And what it does is it opens up your group or your prepping organization, if you have a militia kind of thing, it opens it up and people start having communication. And it takes a little bit, first couple rounds, you kind of get past the whole, like, I'm Thor, super mighty concepts, and then you start breaking down to the reality. People actually have they let their walls down. So today's card question is going to be: describe the average person in the military today. If given the choice, do you think the majority would stand up for what is morally right, or they do what they are told, and why? It's a pretty hard-hitting question here. As a veteran, I look at it from the concept of, as a veteran, my priorities were God, family, country, right? So when you go to a deployment or you go on things, the things that you set up for, you start going through like what they call a primo process. You're making sure your finances and everything with your family and everything can get paid, so that you're not stressing about family's bills and all their health and the what ifs. So you're kind of making sure that's taken care of. Now, if you have an event like this where you don't have, you basically, your family is not taken care of. You can't can get a hold of your family. You don't know what's going on. They're in danger. You're going to see people resort to basically the first priority is you're going to go home to your family. No, now if you knew your family was okay and you were able to go, or the event was kind of like a very localized event, yeah, I think you're going to see the military operate within a concept of the general picture would be to help. But the problem I see is, like, if you're using the military for policing, and it doesn't work well for policing, because the military's role is more of basically, the military is kind of like a big hammer. So the whole training, the whole concept really isn't security for like policing an area, but it's more of, you go in, you destroy the enemy, and then you kind of help rebuild it a little bit. So it doesn't work well on the civilian side. That's why you have police. Um, so I think morally the military would, for the most part, would do right, but people are people. So, if your group is starving, I think you would see people, some people in the military would loot, or they would acquire things or do the wrong thing. You can look at Katrina for that as an example. They followed illegal orders to confiscate guns. So, I mean, in that concept, yeah, I think it's a weird issue in my opinion. I think the military would have a higher percentage of people who are there who want to help people over like maybe a non-military kind of people. But again, it's going to fall down to the fact that I think they're going to be with their families first. They're going to abandon posts, they're going to abandon their base, and they're going to go home. I mean, it's the simple thing. I think it would even for police too. I mean, police aren't going to stick around fighting crime if their house is getting burned down and looted too. So, you're going to see the police leave. How would you react to that? Are you going to be out fighting, or are you going to be back at home trying to keep your stuff together? So I think that's an important thing to look at. So have a please comment. A little bit of kind of a weirder topic. I know it's a little harsher. Being a veteran and all that, and then like a lot of my friends are veterans too, and we've kind of actually talked about this before. So I mean, between ourselves, just let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. If you think the military of today would be morally upstanding and stick together to help you out or be there part of a crisis, or if you think, if times would turn and people would abandon ship, I guess, if that would be the case. Let me know in the comments. Hit like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. It's Ribbon Tactical out.